Hello and welcome everyone. This is your host Jordan here to provide you the most interesting Valentine stories, so without wasting any time, let us get into it. Our first story of the day is from the community today. I fucked up. Weird name, but let's hear it. We were all going out on Valentine's Day in my third year of college. I had been talking to this girl who was the captain of the neighboring university's equestrian team, and things were going well. She seemed like a pretty good match for me since I'm a pretty big horse lover myself, and I got along with her really well. I don't like drinking, I just go to the bar to dance and socialize, but always stay sober, so I usually function as the designated driver for my friend group, which is mostly female. We're all getting ready to go to the bar when my friends went back inside to grab something and I stayed outside to let the truck warm up. Some dude jumped in the back seat and proceeds to pour beer all over the seats and carpet, so obviously I immediately throw him out into the snowbank and tell him to get lost before I call the cops. He seems to leave, but as soon as I look away, he runs back and this time tries to get into the driver's seat. My friend's boyfriend and my only other male friend come out of the house and run over to help me, and the three of us manage to fight this guy off and he runs away down the street. So now instead of going to the bar and meeting up with this girl, I now have to spend the night getting the beer stains and the smell out of my brand new truck that I had just gotten in January of that year. Thank God for 24-hour car washes and that the one near me had machines to clean carpet and upholstery. I had been Snapchatting the girl all night giving her updates on the situation, and she understood completely why I wasn't there yet. I got done cleaning the truck around 12:30 and figured I'd swing by the bar still just to see her, even though my friends ended up deciding not to go out after this incident. I snapped her and told her I could come now, and she said not to bother since she was leaving anyway. What she neglected to tell me was that she was leaving with a guy. Guess she forgot we followed each other on Instagram and I could see her stories. I spent the rest of the night sitting out at a bridge over the train tracks on a dead-end road outside town, just watching the trains go by and looking at the stars. It was just my place that I went when I needed to calm down. That guy eventually became her boyfriend and they are still dating to this day. Moral of the story: lock your fucking doors, otherwise you'll get cockblocked by some crackhead and be a virgin for life. This was a good story and important lesson learned. Let's move on to next. This isn't something I've witnessed more so as it was something I was a part of. Back in 2014, my best friend and I went to the movies during Valentine's Day. We were both single and it was a Friday, so we were going to hang out anyway, just two dudes in a small town with not much to do. Anyway, we are big movie guys, and this movie was called That Awkward Moment. Now you're probably asking yourself, why this movie? You had to have known that the movie would be packed with couples. It's a romantic movie? And I totally see your point. Our parents and friends all thought we were idiots. But as I've said, big movie guys, and we're huge fans of Michael B. Jordan, Zac Efron, and Miles Teller. There was no way we weren't going to see that movie eventually. We get to the theater, and what made this situation worse is my friend and I were going through a phase where we would buy the same outfit, and wouldn't you know, we went out in the same outfit. We get inside the theater and it's jam-packed with couples, mostly straight couples. My friend and I are two straight men, and we went to a movie wearing matching clothes, and as soon as we entered, all eyes were on us. These two women came up to us and said they admired how brave we were. Confused, we asked why. They said that it takes a lot of courage as a gay couple to even be in public together. Now what I have yet to mention is how my best friend is also my first cousin. In a panic, we stated how we weren't gay and that we were actually related and just wanted to see the movie. Now my friend and I aren't homophobic in the slightest, but at the time, I'm guessing by the way we denied being gay, something must have come out as offensive. These two women were gay and on their first public date. They got so upset with us that one began to cry and the whole movie theater's eyes were on us, and I was so embarrassed that I started to have an anxiety attack. But once the movie was over, we found the two women and apologized if we hurt their feelings in any way. It turned out that my friend had said, "Who would go public with that?" He said it while denying that we were gay, and I had not heard it. He apologized and we spent the rest of the night with them, paying for whatever they wanted as an apology, and the four of us are still friends till this day. Let's hear the next one. I had a crush on this one girl in my class in 9th grade. At the time, she was perfect to me. Valentine's Day comes, and our school always runs this thing where you can get roses delivered to someone in class, with or without a message. I decide this is the year I'm going to ask her on a date. I go all out, write a poem for her, get her a few roses and chocolates and other random romantic shit. Of course, I want her to know it's me, so I put my name on the card and tell her if she's interested that she should meet me at the movie theater at a certain time. I get there a little early because I'm overeager. She actually shows up and we go watch Prometheus or something. Enjoy the movie, get coffee afterwards, and I think it's all going really well. At the end of the night, my dad comes to pick us up and conversation in the car sort of dies down since I don't want to seem like a dumbass in front of my dad. I officially ask her out over text in the car. She just looks at me like I'm retarded for thinking that would work, and I accept defeat. Problem is, I've been thinking about this date for a while and I have it all figured out in my head. We drop her off at her house and I get out to give her a goodbye hug. After fantasizing about how it would end for hours on end, I instinctively kiss her on the head as she hugs me. She was a bit shorter than I was. Any conversation after that would be very awkward, and both of us just kind of avoided each other. She did tell me at some point that if I had asked her out with my voice and not my phone, then she would have said yes. I don't know what to say about this one. Let's hear the next. Started to chat to this girl on a dating website. She seemed okay, nothing too amazing. We arranged a date in a pub. When she turned up, late I might add, it became pretty obvious that she left out the fact that she was a dwarf. This fact was not obvious from her photo. Now, I'm not a cunt. It must be hard people with disabilities to not to be defined by their disability. I am not saying that the fact that she was a little person would have meant that I would not have gone on the date, but physical attraction is important for any relationship. Looks-wise, she was average, I'm average myself. I didn't really find her attractive. Well, not sober anyway. The more the night went on, the more I drank, the more I started to find her attractive. By the end of the night, I was pretty much up for a bit of sexy time. I was Randy. In my drunken haze, I somehow convinced myself that this girl was into me. She was not into me at all. At the end of the night, she declined all my crap advances, and my awful flirting technique did not lead to coitus. The night ended with a kiss on the cheek and a firm handshake. The next day, I sent her a message thanking her for the nice night. I then checked her profile. She had only gone and updated it. Right at the end of her profile, she had added the line, "And please only contact me if you're over 6 foot." Apparently, my slightly below average, 5 feet 7 inches, height was a turn off for her. The shallow bitch. This one was something else. Let's hear the next one. It wasn't a bad date for me, but I was there to witness her worst date. We went to a botanical garden and we're having a good time when suddenly one of her heel breaks off. No problem. I take it and straighten the nail and bang it back so it's at least walkable. Not even 10 minutes later, the clasp on her handbag breaks and all of her contents spill out of her bag. I'm handy, but I wasn't able to fix the clasp, so she basically had to football carry it the rest of the time. So we're laughing about the tough luck she has, and something small hits her on the top of her head. There was an elevated Japanese garden next to the path we were walking, so we thought a little kid was throwing tiny pebbles. We ran up to catch the kid, but as we're running, I see the top of her head and realize it's not a pebble but a bird crapped on her head. I didn't want to alarm her, so I didn't tell her about it and told her to stop and come over. I grabbed a leaf and wiped the crap off her head the best I could. She realized what it was and she was mortified. I couldn't help but basically laugh in her face. I wasn't laughing at her, but it was so hilarious that I couldn't contain myself. I reassured her that everything's all right and sometimes shit happens. I went on another date with her the next week, but she was so shy and embarrassed that we didn't meet again. This was cute and embarrassing. Let's hear the last one. I've never had an awesome Valentine's Day. Whenever I've had a boyfriend, we've just gone out to eat and he's given me flowers, which is nice. I actually like single V days because my parents feel sorry for me and give me lots of candy and a pair of earrings or something to make me feel better. Worst date was a guy I had been casually dating asked me to be his date to a concert. I was so excited that I took off work early to go home and get ready. I shaved my legs, did my hair, even bought new shoes. He picked me up by texting I'm here and waiting in his car. At the concert, he left me to hang out with his friends or smoke outside for at least half the night without ever telling me he was leaving. I actually ended up dancing with some guy who asked me because, hey, at least someone wanted to dance with me. I even gave him my number. My date eventually found me and said it was time to go. He took me home, then told me he would walk me to my door but wasn't going to stay because he wanted to stay in his own bed that night. Long silent walk to my door, he said have a good night and I said yeah and shut the door. Some men are just too strange. I have to say these were some worst and embarrassing dates, but they sure are memorable. Let's wind up for today and we'll meet you guys tomorrow with another interesting stories. If you do like this, please subscribe so that I can keep on doing this. All right, people, goodbye.